All right, just had another amp come in the mail today. Let's go ahead and do an unboxing. Hadn't done one of those in a while. Let's go ahead and cut the tape. And let's see what we got. Let's see what we have in here. Okay. So this sheet does not really say which one's which. So let's pull this thing out. And it is a Bermans 2500.1D. So let me get this thing out of the box. And let's see what it looks like. Let me pause the video and put you on the stand. And we'll get this thing out of the bag and see what it looks like. Okay, I got it out. And there's no damage. You know, all the feet are not bent. There's no cracks or nothing on the terminals. So looks like first things first, I really like the gold plated terminals. They look very good contrast on the black heatsink. So it looks like 8-gauge speaker terminals. You got 2 positives, 2 negatives, and of course, just like all monoblocks, they're connected internally. So no, it's not a 2-channel amplifier. It's a monoblock. You got the positive, negative, and remote terminal in the middle. Looks like all gauge terminals. And the end plates, they've got, you know, cool little designs on the end plates. And there does say 1 ohm minimum, and the labeling on this amplifier is on the top of the terminal, so you don't have to break your neck trying to see them while you're installing the amplifier in your vehicle. And again, we got cool little designs. We've got metal potentiometers, and we've got the nice panel mount RCAs, which are also gold plated. I think, you know, these should be standardized on car amps nowadays. And the caps are tight. They are tight fitting. Okay. So you got your gain, your low pass filter, adjustable from 40 hertz to 180 hertz. You got your subsonic filter, which is a high pass crossover. You got it from the off position all the way up to 50 hertz. You got your bass boost, which to me, that should be eliminated from all amplifiers. But you got your bass boost from 0 to 12 dB, and then your frequency for the bass boost, 30 hertz to 80 hertz. And then over here you got your power light and your protect light. Now, right offhand, does not have a remote bass knob. So some people want to not like that. But to me, most of the time, I take the factory bass knobs and toss them, because, you know, I'm going to use an RCA bass knob, or, you know, something like that. I have a bass knob from my NVX LOC in our 2005 Honda Pilot, and I use it as a bass knob. So again, I'm not using the factory bass knob on an amplifier in that vehicle. So that's not a deal breaker for me. And for the price that you pay for this amplifier, I mean, it looks nice. You know, shipping was, you know, 6 or 7 days. Um, Paid with PayPal. So, you know, really no worries there. As you can see, it did not come damaged due to shipping. So it was packed well. So let me pause video. We'll do a little Amp Dyno video. Okay, so we've got the Bermans 2500.1D, and it is the half bridge amplifier. And so I was able to confirm that this is the 2500.1D because the heat sink length 430 millimeters, and that's the measurement on this amplifier. So we're 800 watts at 4 ohm, 1200 watts at 2 ohm, and 2000 watts at 1 ohm. That's the ratings, and it does say less than 1% distortion. It does not give a voltage level, but we're going to be testing it starting at a 14.5 volts. So, and we're going to be 40 hertz as per usual. So keep an eye on the oscilloscope screen, and we are at 4 ohm. So here is your clean reading. All right, so 653 watts. Well, let's redo that because I forgot to set the clamp to max. My bad. Things happen. All right. And it is connected. So we're on max, and then I didn't set this one to minimum either. Huh. All right. So let's do that again. So 40 hertz, here's a clean. 40 hertz, 4 ohm, 659 watts. We pulled 53.9 amperes of current, and we dropped down to 14.50 volts. So that looks to be pretty good efficiency. Let me write the stuff down and do the calculations, and I'll be right back. All right. 84.32% efficiency at 4 ohm. So now let's do clipped. Well, it would help if I reset everything. All right. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Technically, I forgot to reset everything before I unpause the video. Oh well. All right, so here's 40 hertz into clipping. All right. 746 watts. We pulled 61.2 amperes of current, and we were at 14.49 volts. All right, so let's write this stuff down and get ready for our 2 ohm testing. All right, so here we go. 40 hertz, 2 ohm. This will be clean. Watch the oscilloscope screen. Clean on the screen. All right. 1180 watts. Again, this was rated at 1200 watts. So we got 1180 watts. We pulled 100.4 amperes of current. We dropped down to 14.45 volts. So let me get the calculations and we'll do the clip testing. All right, the efficiency looked good. At 2 ohms, 81.34% efficiency. That's pretty good in my book. All right, so let's go 1 click into clipping. All right, watch the screen for the waveform. All right, so we were definitely into clipping. Not horribly, but 1 click into clipping. So we got 1,330 watts. We pulled 113.3 amperes of current, and we dropped down to 14.44 volts. All right, let me write this stuff down, get set up for the 1 ohm tests. All righty, well, this one bit the dust on 1 ohm. I was setting the gains at 1 ohm, to make sure that we're getting a good clean signal. And let me turn it off. And so anyway, I heard the power supply pop on the inside. And I know it's a power supply that popped from the way that it sounded. It wasn't a loud bang. It was kind of a poof, sizzle. Power supply went. So yeah, it says it's a 1 ohm amp, but when it comes down to it, nope, this one's a no-go. Alrighty. So much for half bridge, right? So let's, I'm not going to open it up. I'm just going to send it back, and it's going to send it back. All right then. I guess that's it for this one. First amp to blow up on the bench, on the dyno bench. All right, that probably won't be the last one though. That's it for this one. See you next time.